Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to our next episode in our complete reading of Srimad Ramayana. In the previous episode, we saw how Ravana was informed by Sukha and Sarana about all the wonderful Vanara Veeras. Ravana becomes very angry and he says, "You can't praise an opponent king in front of me like this." And he says, "If I have forgotten what you have done for me in the past, I would have killed you. But I'm asking you to get out of this place. Just thank the heavens that you are still alive and get away from here." So Sukha and Sarana quickly run away from there. He himself is now very, very frustrated by looking at the amount of army that is there and the strength of the Vanara Veeras, and he is now thinking of how to face all the Vanara Veeras together. He immediately calls for another set of Godacharis or Guptacharas and he sends them. They are all now led by Shardula. They go in, they look at the entire army, and they also are caught by Vibhishana. They take them to SriRamchandra. SriRamchandra says, "Okay, let them see whatever they want and let them leave." So they again look at the entire army. They go back to Ravana and they say, "Oh Ravana, it's very, very tough to win this war. You have to take a quick decision now. Either we fight this war or you go and give back Sitaamaa. Do one of these things, but don't put us in this Rishanku Swarga where we are not getting into either of these places. So quickly take a decision." Or Ravana is all Shardula says. And the moment Shardula also says this, Ravana asks who are all the important Veeras over there. Again, Shardula describes all the Veeras. He talks about Dadimuka, Hanumanta, everyone. Ravana is like totally angry now. He is now thinking of the impending war. He dismisses the Guptacharas and then he calls for a huge sabha where he again discusses all this. He gets a new plan into his mind, and from there he invites another Mayavi Rakshasa whose name is Vidyutjihva, and he says to Vidyutjihva, "Oh Vidyutjihva, I understand what you can do. I understand your capabilities. I understand your strengths. So quickly make a SriRamchandra's head for me and also get me some Dhanurbanas." So he takes them. He goes back to Sitaamaa, to Ashokavana. He shows this head and the bow and arrow to her and says, "Oh Sita, you are always thinking that your husband is going to come and save you, but I have killed the very belief of yours. Look at this. This is SriRama's head. Yesterday, SriRama has come to Lanka. He was sleeping, and in the midnight, when all of them were having Gadha Nidra, or they were sleeping without knowing even their surroundings, they were having such a sound sleep. And when they were all having such a sound sleep, my army went and pounced on them. They killed everyone. They broke the neck of Angada. They killed everyone. Prahasta went and cut off the head of Sriramchandra, who was still sleeping. Here is the head. Here are his Dhanurbanas," saying that he'll show it in front of her, and he'll be standing in front of her. Sita immediately breaks down and she cries, saying that, "Oh, you have been my friend from childhood. Oh Rama, how can I show my face to Kausalya now? How can I do this? How can I do that?" I mean, the whole Vilapa runs for more than almost a sarga. I'm not really going into the details because it's very, very painful. You can only imagine the pain that Sitaamaa would be going through when she sees her husband's head in front of her. And as she was crying, Ravana says, "No, no, give up all this. You come, you become my wife." I mean, he doesn't leave her pursuit there even at that particular point of time, because at the end of the day, he was the guy who created this entire illusion, right? Sitaamaa is crying badly. In the meantime, there will be someone who will come and ask Ravana that he has to come to the palace because Prahasta is waiting for him. So Prahasta comes back, and then Ravana immediately goes from there. He looks at Prahasta. They understand the need of the war, and then they ask that the war drums be made ready. That's what Ravana does. But here Sitaamaa is still weeping and unconsolably, and then something very, very strange happens. The Maya head of Rama that Vidyutjihva has created, that and the bow and arrow, all of them disappear all at once. Now, as Sitaamaa is crying, one Rakshasa Stri called Surama. Now, some of them, in some interpretations, they call her as the wife of Vibhishana. We don't know. I mean, at least till now in Ramayana, we did not read that. Now, she comes to Sitaamaa and says, "Don't worry. Whatever Ravana has shown you is not truth. No king who has entered a new place would just fall into a sound sleep. They would have had a lot of people, who were protecting them. All Ravana is trying to do is to get you quickly before the war, so that he can make the war purposeless for SriRamchandra. No, you don't fall for the trap." As Ravana went out, I immediately tried to get the reason as to why Ravana went out. See, they are using the Yuddhabheri and all. That essentially means the drums are being beaten. That essentially means that the war is yet to start. The war has not started yet. All this is Ravana's doing. Don't fall for it. I have got information from Prahasta and others that this is what is happening. Ravana is only trying to fool you, and don't fall for it. With this, Sitaamaa immediately feels very happy, and Surama also says, see, the amount of good things that are going to happen to you, I am telling you, you will be like the way after a lot of rain comes, the way the plants come up, that the amount of happiness the earth will have about it, like that earth, you will be happy with your husband. And then Sitaamaa is happy. She understands that Rama is not someone who can be defeated or killed in sleep. And then Sitaamaa is finally happy. And then she says, Samardhaya ganangantum avichatvam rasatalam avagachamya kartavyam te madantare. You said you are going to help me. Please do one help for me. So Surama actually offers that she would help. So Sitaamaa is saying, since you have offered for help, please do one small help. Okay, please tell me as to what Ravana is doing right now and what he is up to. Surama says, I'll go and do, don't worry. Surama goes to Ravana's palace and she listens to what Ravana is talking to his ministers, and then she comes back and says, Oh Sita, don't worry. Jananya Rakshasendra vai Tvanmokshardham Brahadvajah Avidhyena cha Vaidehi Mantribuddhena Choditaha. Oh Sita, Ravana's mother herself has asked Ravana to leave you. Okay, so that's one thing, that Ravana was informed by his own mother Kaikasi, and at the same time all the Rakshasas are also discussing the strengths of Vanaras and all, and Kaikasi, who is Ravana's mother, she is telling Diyatam Abhisatkrutya Manujendra Maithili and Nidarsanam Te Paryaptam Janasthane Edadbhutam. Oh, you give back Sitaamaa in a proper way to SriRamchandra, and after listening to whatever has happened in Janasthana, we should be really, really careful. We now know the capability of SriRamchandra. So this is what Kaikasi has told. And then she also told about the Samudra Langhana, or the way Swami Hanuman has jumped over the sea and come here. So now that we know that also, we need to be extremely careful. Ravana is what she is saying, but in spite of everybody telling, Ravana is not ready to let go of you. So I think all this is happening because he is going to die in the war. So that's what I am thinking. In the meantime, the huge sound of the war drums has come out. That was the war drum sound of the Vanaras. Listening to that itself, most of the Rakshasas had their hearts getting displaced. Listening to this, Sitaamaa is also now happy because she now really understands that SriRamchandra is there and Ravana was only trying to mislead her. And now what happens after this? Who is going to come and talk to Ravana? That we are going to see in our next episode. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaah, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, sarvam Sadguru Sri Sai Maharaj Swam Charanarvindar Paramastu. Jai Shri Ram.